Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Oh, we got a great fun one for you today. There's been a lot of chatter around lately about YouTube video backgrounds not working with Divi. So I've got one here. It's working absolutely perfectly, as you can see. I'm not quite sure how you're building your video backgrounds, but I'll show you a little hack today to make sure this is going to work. I've got a little call to action module on the top of mine here, but of course you can put any content in that you want. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start a new page. And I'll just call it video background. And funny enough, we're going to use a Divi builder. I'm going to go ahead and build from scratch. It puts a section in the top. I'm going to add a single column to that section. I'm going to put a code module in there. I'm just going to save that for a moment. Now, anytime you do a video background, I would suggest that you put a color or an image in the background of the section you're going to have it in, or whatever it's going to cover, purely because if there's a slow internet connection, it may take a little bit of time if you're embedding a video for it to actually load, and you want something there for them to see or be able to read whatever content. So I'm going to go into my section here. I'm going to throw in a background image. Let's chuck that one in. Okay, and that's actually a footer we've got going on there. Let's just add a little bit more content so we've got some breathing room here. So I'm going to save those changes. I'm going to add another little section for my library. I think I've got a services section, that'll do. There we go, we've got a bit of content here. So here's our section at the top. At the moment, there's nothing in it apart from a row right here. So I'm going to add inside our code module that we put in there. I'm going to go over to YouTube. I've got a YouTube video playing here. Let's just pause that a moment. I'm going to embed it. So I'm going to go down to the share button here. I'm going to hit the little embed sign right there. I'm going to copy the code and get rid of that now. I'm going to paste this code into my code module. So there we've got our little YouTube video. But of course I want it to autoplay and I want it to be muted. So if we look here, we've got the URL of the actual video right here. Actually, let me just back up. That's one thing I wanted to show you right here. Let's do that. When you hit the embed, if we go back to our share and embed, what I've done is I've unchecked the box that says show player controls. And then I've copied it. And what happens there is if you do that, it puts a little line of code after the video. Here's the actual video URL there. It says controls equals 0. Right after that, with no gap, it's really important you don't put any gap. I'm going to put the ampersand or and sign. I'm going to say autoplay, all one word, no gaps anywhere, equals 1. As you can see, that video is going to start to play now. But I don't want any music or any talking or anything. So I'm going to put another ampersand, the and sign, and mute, M-U-T-E, equals 1 also. There's no gaps in any of that. I'll put that little bit of code down below for anybody who wants to copy and paste. As you can see, that video is now playing on autoplay with no sound. Perfect for a backing. Great, well let's save our code now. I want this to be full width and I'm going to give it a fixed height. Don't want any gaps top, bottom, left or right. So let's take any padding away from the section. Blue tab to the section. Design, spacing. I'm going to take any padding away from the top and bottom by putting a 0 in the top, hitting the chain. I'll take it away from the bottom. A little bit left there, that's obviously in the row. So we need to make that row full width to have a full width video anyway. Green tab for the row. We're going to go over to spacing, take away that padding first thing. Again, just put a 0 in the top. Hit the chain for the bottom. I'm going to close up spacing, go to sizing just above it. I want it to be full width, full I'm going to go into the width. I'm going to type 100%, 100, and the percent sign. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it down below in the max width, or you can just type it in there if you want to. We've now got a full width autoplay video going on there. Fantastic. Great. Well, I only want this to take up, I don't know, about 50% of our screen here. That's entirely up to you. So I'm going to go back into this section, the blue tab. And I'm going to give it a fixed height. Design, sizing. Here's our height down here. I'm going to make it 50 viewable height. So it'll be 50% of the viewable height of any device that we look at it on. Now, the reason you're seeing it as 100 is because we've got some what they call overflow going on there. To hide that, we can go over to our advanced, to visibility. I'm going to change both horizontal and vertical overflow to hidden. As you can see, it's shrunk down to our 50% there. Fantastic. Well, we've got our video background going now, but we want to put a little video or something over the top of it, or a bit of information. So I'm going to use a simple call to action for mine. I'm going to add a new little section. And you'll see on the back end here, occasionally that overflow is going to turn up, especially if I roll over the video there. But on the front end, it'll stop right there. I'm going to use a regular section for that. In mine, I'm going to put a single column, single row with a call to action. Obviously, you can put as much or as little content in yours as you wish. I'm just going to add a button to it. I'm going to leave everything else just as it is. Before the button's going to show up, we need to put a link in for it. I'll just put a placeholder. There's our button. Now that background, in case there's sort of light imaging going on in the background there, I'm going to turn that background black and use a bit of opacity so it's see-through. So to make it opaque, I'm going to click on the field, variegated slider right here. I'm going to take mine down to, well, I don't know, sort of 50, 60%, whatever works for you. That's great. But of course, we want this thing up over the top of our little video here. So to do that, I'm going to go over to design. I'm going to go down to spacing. I'm going to scoot it up using some negative margin. So I'm going to hit the little arrow, flip it down to -1. Where it says 1 pix there, I'm going to make it minus, we'll try 45 viewable height. And that's jumped it right up on top of our section there. That's actually about right. Now, if you want to make it higher or lower, you can increment up and down by using the little arrows here, place it exactly what you want. But that's actually going to work quite well for me. Now we've got a little bit more space than I want down here because we've kind of got an empty section and an empty row. We can negate that by going into the section, taking away any padding, so it'll make it a lot skinnier. Design, spacing. You know how to do this. Put a 0 in there. Hit the chain. That's great. It's slightly adjusted where our thing is, but we can go back in there and readjust in a moment. If you want that tighter still, we can go into the actual row that was down here. We can take any padding away from that row also. Design, spacing. We'll put a 0 in there. And again, that's going to make our little content thing go up slightly. Let's go back into our little call to action module here. And we'll scoot it down with our spacing here. But actually, if you increment up, it's going to go down. If you increment down, it's going to go up. Because we're using negatives here. Just place it wherever you want it. Great. And there we have it. That's great. And it's going to work on desktop perfectly. It'll work on tablet perfectly. I'd probably do something else for mobile. I'll show you why in a minute. Because most mobile devices are going to block autoplay videos anyway. There's an example of me rolling over the video and it's spilling out there. So let's just take a look. I'm going to hit my little purple button. Let's take a look on a tablet. There it is on a tablet. That's not too bad. We could readjust this slightly for tablet mode by going back into that design, spacing. If we roll over, we've got a little mobile phone type icon there. Make sure that we're on tablet mode. We got -39. I want it to go up a little bit. Let's say -42 or something like that. See what happens. -42 VH. That's about right. Don't need 2 VHs there. That's great. Now for mobile, like I said, I'd probably do something else because it's going to probably block that autoplay video anyway. But if we flip to mobile, because of the aspect ratio of the actual video, you can change it if you want to, but I'd probably just take that text away so we got that and the call to action. Or I'd make a completely different little section, probably for the mobile version here. If you wanted to just take that text away, maybe make that title a bit smaller on mobile, really easy to do. We'll go into our content, to the text. Where it says body there, I'm going to roll over it, hit that little mobile phone type icon. I'm just going to delete this. And we're just left with that. And you know how to fix that. Actually, let's just make this title a bit smaller on mobile. Title's text size, make sure we're on the mobile version. 26, let's make it sort of 16. Whatever works for you, obviously. And then we need to go into our design. I'll close up the title text there, spacing, and shoot it up just a little bit. Let's try -50 and see what happens. Just increment it to where you've got it, where you want it. So we got that on mobile, that on tablet, and this on desktop. We'll just save our changes. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And we'll exit the Visual Builder. And there we got it. We've got our YouTube video background going on there. We got our little call to action on top. We can roll over it. We can read the writing. We can hit the button if we need to. Great little feature to have on your site. So if your YouTube video background's not working for you, try that little way of doing it. It should work absolutely fine. Like I say, I probably wouldn't have it on a mobile device because it's probably going to block it anyway. I'd build something else strictly for mobile. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. If you've enjoyed this today, please hit like, subscribe, share below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.